Welcome to the Legacy of the Nerd. My name is Daniel, and I'm here today with the Countdown City Geeks at Andy's Treasure Chest with the legendary Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger Jason, and then original Zeo Gold as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you
My
talking
pleasure.
with me. So, you're doing the event here on Saturday and Sunday. Today you did the 3 to 5, and tomorrow you're doing 12 to 2 here at Traders Village in San Antonio.
Yeah, or last man standing, whenever the line ends.
Awesome. And I've been watching him. He's been awesome with everybody. You definitely can tell you appreciate the fans, and I appreciate that as well.
And I don't care what TV show you're on, you don't exist without your fans.
That is very, very true. Oh. So it has been 30 years now since the debut of Mighty Morphin, and Power Rangers is still relevant. People still want to meet OG Jason. What is that like?
It's mind-bending, man. 30 years ago when we started filming, I never thought for a second that I'd be talking about this 30 years later. But hearing the stories about the families and the inspiration that people found in my character or the others, or all of us, and still newer generations, it's incredible. I mean, the show's never stopped filming. Yeah. I'm not positive, double check me, but I'm pretty sure it's the longest running live action show in history. It's somewhere around 700 or 800 episodes, and it's still filming in New Zealand. It never stopped. Star Wars stopped filming for a while. Star Trek stopped filming for a while, and then they picked back up. But Power Rangers just...
I think I was talking about this with a friend the other day. The only two shows we could think of but not live action or necessarily scripted, but SNL and Simpsons. The only shows have been around as long or longer than
and maybe Family Guy or Naruto.
You guys were on before Family Guy.
Were we?
Yeah, Family Guy wasn't until like 2001, too.
That's crazy. I was just talking with the director from X-Men, Larry Houston. He was reading my comic and he fell in love with it. But we found out we were working for Haim Saban at the same time, but we didn't know it. So he was making X-Men and directing at the time, and I was off filming Power Rangers, and it was just
two quintessential 90s shows for especially kids my age.
That was the Power Hour.
Yeah, that was awesome.
X-Men and Rangers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you recently returned to the franchise after 20 years with Beast Morphers.
Yeah.
I was really, really curious because you have talked in the past in different interviews and cons that it's never necessarily been the right time for you to return. What made that the right time to return?
So I got a call from the executive producer, and he's got a hell of a story. His name is Chip Lynn, and 30 years ago, he started on set as a PA, which is like a coffee getter. I mean, that's entry level. And so many guys do it. There's no shame in it. It's just very beginning level.
Yeah.
And 30 years later, he calls me up, and I find out he's the executive producer of the show. And he and I think two other guys were the only ones left in the entire production that were on set when I filmed. He's like, we're the last ones, man.
Wow.
He's like, you want to come back? And I was like, wow. Yeah. He's like, and we film in New Zealand, so it won't suck. And I was like, all right. And so I went, and I had a great time. I got to meet the new cast. I got to see New Zealand. And it was a great experience.
Do you think filming Beast Morphers recently was a better experience than returning in the past?
Man, I don't know that I could. I couldn't say one was better.
Okay.
I don't know that Beast Morphers, that episode, will get the attention that Forever Red did.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for us, especially in the fandom, it was really big to see you come back.
It was great to come back, and I'll probably be back in the future. But it's just great, man. I love it every time. There's so much changes, and I get to see the new cast members and see how they carry on the legacy, because it's a big legacy to carry on, you know.
But you're always the first.
Well, outside of Japan.
True. Geki as well. Hasbro calls you, and they go, Austin, we're giving you full control. You can do whatever you want. Whatever story, however many episodes it takes. What would you do?
I would go dark.
Dark. Okay.
That is exactly why I created my comic. You know, the fans have grown up. We have fans from 5 to 60. And people, you know, Batman started out as pow bang boom. It was cheesy.
That's true.
And now we have like the Dark Knight, and we have all these iterations of it got dark.
Mm-hmm.
And like with the comic, I mean, It's post-apocalyptic. It's dystopian. It's what happens to Jason 30 years after he hangs up the red suit at the end of the world. And you literally
Okay.
you watch in book 1, you watch the world end.
So it's like Jason the End, pretty much.
Yeah, but it's not Power Rangers.
Okay.
So if I had Power Rangers, I would bring back the OG cast, those that are left. And I would take us into some superhero places where we're still heroes, but we have skeletons in the closet.
Okay.
And
things have happened since.
Like the team may have broken up and we've grown apart, and maybe Jason feels guilty for the law. You know, maybe in his head it's his fault that Trini is gone, or it's his fault that Tommy is gone, and Kimberly's heartbroken because Tommy's gone, and Dave is, you know, he's got his demons, or not Dave, Billy would have his demons, and Walter would have, or Zach would have his demons, and it would be about conquering those demons and bringing the team back to fight a new level of darkness.
Yeah.
You know, the likes of which we haven't seen.
Although I have to say, when Zed was on, that first version of Zed was pretty dark, actually, for the time.
Man, they used to get mad at us all the time. They're like, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's too dark. This is a kid's show.
Yeah.
And then I'm on set and I see the Lord Zed suit come out. And so what you don't know is there was blood pumping through clear pipes throughout his body.
And they changed it to blue or something?
So they literally made him a skinless, thing. So when I saw the blood pump, I was like, didn't you tell me this was a kid's show? Like, what is that? And so then they changed it to something blue and made it mechanical and dumbed it down. And then eventually he married Rita. And
it was all comedy.
They both became buffoons. But that one threw me for a loop.
That was cool, man.
This is dark.
So you actually brought up your comic. If people don't know, Austin is he has started his own comic line, Redemption Comics. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's I mean, I only printed 500 copies of book 1, and there's 4 covers to book 1. This is just one of them. The other 3 covers you can look at on the sheet there. But it is, like I said, post-apocalyptic, dystopian. What happens to the book opens on a small base, or called a FOB, in Afghanistan, and we see a new evil. It's not zombies. There's no virus. I couldn't do that again. And what we think is that only that base is overrun, or that the base is in the area. And I mean, you see a couple of fire teams of Marines, and they're laying down all the fire they have, and they barely escape, by their you-know-whats. And then they decide, as the world is ending, they're figuring out there's no communications, there's no command anymore. What do we do? And so they go home to find family. And that's where the real story begins. So, and we never see who the lead character is. We don't see his face. And so you're discovering who it is. We know he's a captain in the Marine Corps. We know his call sign is Reaper.
Okay.
Well, there's going to be more to it.
Okay.
So he has to find his family. It's not Power Rangers, but there are Easter eggs in there. If you're a Rangers fan, you'll be like, I see what he did there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So one of the covers done by Alan Qua, who's done a million Marvel covers, a bunch of DC, and boom. One of the things that I had him do is on his cover, I had him put, because the whole book is almost all black and white. When you see color in the book, it's for an important reason.
Okay.
And there's a little girl in yellow. I wonder what that might be. I'm not going to say anything. When he comes home into his hometown, there's a town sign where you would see the name of any town. But there's a few letters missing. But if they weren't missing, you might know the name of that town.
Okay.
And the title is Redemption, Redemption. And there's a sword, and there's stuff in there that if you're a Rangers fan, you're going to be like, oh, okay.
And I would say I've talked to a lot of fans, and a lot of them have already read your book, and I've already ordered it. And where can they get your book right now?
So right now, it's almost completely sold out. I'm getting ready to launch book 2, the Kickstarter for book 2, which is awesome. But so the website is up. It's redemptioncomics.com, and redemption is spelled with a number 1 where the I is. But you can't buy it there yet. You can go look at it and read about it there. If you want one, go to the website, look at which cover you want, because there's 4 covers that I have, and then there's 4 exclusives I gave to comic shops. One is done by Bjorn. I mean, I got some heavy artists. Email me at support@austinstjohn.biz, B-I-Z. And if you email me, tell me which cover you want, and I'll get you a copy, and you'll pay for mail. If you want a regular copy, it's $10. You want it signed on a regular copy, it's 70, and then whatever the shipping is to wherever you are. So I can get you some copies.
Awesome. So remember to check his website and support, and then he'll get you a copy if you need one for sure.
Yeah.
You have launched your own Power Rangers community with Walter with Fanward.
That's right.
And I know a lot of the Ranger community knows about it, but if you don't, do you want to talk a little bit about that and some fun stuff you have coming up for that?
Yeah, it's called Fanward, Fanward. I met with Dave and Olivia almost 6 years ago, and they came to me with this idea about building a streaming network that allowed actors to put out video content, but it didn't require me to bring all the equipment and drag it all around and do all the back work.
So home base situation.
Yeah, so they would take over all the work for us. Do this, do that. They do the editing and do all that. I'm like, man, I can shoot a lot more content.
Yeah.
If I don't have to mess with all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And then over the years, as they are meticulous with their homework, they began to dive into my world, and they saw the Comic-Con world, and they saw my fandom, and they're like, this is incredible. And I'm like, that's what I've been telling you. And I've always been.
There's a lot of us.
I'm way deep into the details of my fandom. Yeah. So I started giving them the back end, and then they started doing research, and then the whole process for the show morphed into a Comic-Con content for fans.
Yes.
And so they had Jeremy Sumpter, who played Peter Pan, and then just recently I connected them with Walter, and I brought Walter in. And over the next few years, you're going to see a lot of other actors. I'm not even going to give you names yet.
That's awesome.
It's going to be intense.
They do some great stuff. Like you'll join, and just for joining, you get entered into these awesome giveaways.
Yeah.
I've heard of fans saying, like, I just got home and I got a figure signed by Walter. It's just on my door, or I got a signed helmet by Austin St. John just set up to my door, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, the whole point is, we have collectors, and we know that some of you had collections as kids, some of you didn't. Some of you would like stuff, but maybe you can't afford it. Some of you maybe just would like stuff. Yeah. And I'm in a position, and Fanward is in a position where I don't have to charge you here. You want to come in and see this content, we're just going to give it away.
And y'all's big thing is this year is the year of 3-0, right?
3-0. This is a $550 to $600 Power Ranger collection.
It's pricey.
It's not a cheap one.
Yeah.
And we're giving away one of those every month this year.
That is crazy.
And we have the mega bundle that's coming up, which is going to be a power sword, a lunchbox, the 3-0. I think there's Pudgy Pig. Yeah. So there's some cool collections in there.
Yeah.
And
if you're looking to start a collection, that's the way to start it for sure.
Yeah. And there's one collection that we just give away. You don't even have to be a member, but you can be for like $15 a month.
And I actually saw that you are hoping to sort of start a creative focus group with your Fanward community.
Oh man, we have so much planned. You guys have no idea.
Follow him because he has a video up like every month where he explains everything that's going on, and he's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I release 2 regular videos a month, and then I do lots of other conversational pieces. So I've got stuff coming up where I'm going to turn Redemption into a fan-driven, a fan-created comic.
That's awesome.
So I'm just now getting ready. You guys don't even know. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. Like in the next 15, 30 days.
Nice.
I'm going to set out a Zoom call, and I'm going to do 3 groups of 12 fans. We'll pick them at random. And you get a seat at the table with me if you're interested. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk with you about Redemption. And I'm going to tell you what's in my head, the directions I'm taking. This is what's going on. And then I'm going to ask you the most important question, which is, what would you do? And I want to do that because I'm a fan of movies and film and comics. And I can't remember the last time a director or Dwayne Johnson called me up on the phone and was like, hey, bro, what direction you think we ought to go with this film?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, right? And I thought, you know what? I can make that happen too.
Yeah.
So now that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start allowing the fans to help guide me in where I take Redemption because I'm going to do 50 books, and then I'm going to turn it into an animated series. And
Okay. Wow. I
This
didn't know
is
that. I didn't know about the anime series.
yeah. I forget to talk about. I have a lot of things going on, and as it develops, it's going to be the only fan-driven, fan-directed, creative piece out there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I can't think of any right
I
now.
don't know of anybody else out there that follows what the fans want. And I'm not saying I'm going to take every piece of direction, but I'm saying I'm going to take key pieces that fit in the kingdom, and I'm going to plug them in. And I already hire fans to do artwork. In fact, I just talked to a guy here who he was incredible. So I have somebody in Uruguay who just did all the coloring, who just did all my pages for book 2, and he's not well known. A lot of people don't know him, but he's about to be known.
Does good work.
Yeah, he's incredible work.
Awesome.
Book 1 was done by DJ Hall. A lot of people didn't know him. He's going to be all over it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and it's going to be big. I love doing everything with the fans, and I like getting them involved, and that is essentially the point to Fanwood. It is my way, without oversight from Hasbro, because it's not Power Rangers, but that's where Walter and I and Jeremy Sumter and Olivia and Dave, who own it, can directly interact with you on whatever way we want.
Yeah.
We can sit down. Really? That's what's important to you? Okay, tell me about that. Why? And we listen. We take your feedback. There's a fan group page on Facebook called Fanward, and or the Command Center with Austin. With Austin and Walter. And we literally, you have no idea how much we look at every comment on that page. We collect the data, we pull it in, and we go, this is the most of this comment that was made. This is the most suggestions for this that was made. Definitely a lot of people said that sucked, so X that. And we pull that content, and you're already shaping literally the direction that Fanward is going.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to let you help me shape Redemption, and there are other things to come that I can't even talk about yet. But it just grows and grows and grows.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm just going to leave you with this last question, and simple one. Who do you have? Red Ranger Jason versus Zeo Gold Jason? Who do you have winning? I know you love both.
Man, that's tough. I mean, Jason is undefeated. Anytime he lost a fight is because he chose not to fight someone. And that's not a loss in my mind. That's a victory. He's the only guy to defeat Tommy. True. He's the only guy to fight the major monsters without being morphed, without any weapons. Goldar in the Green with Evil series. He's the only Ranger. As the Gold Ranger, he received the power of 3 Rangers at one time.
And he handled it.
Yeah, so from Tray of Triforia. So he's literally the most powerful Ranger that's ever been created.
Yeah.
No other Ranger had the power of 3. So who would win? That would be a clash of the Titans. That would be a clash of the Titans. I think in the end, both Jasons would have enough common sense to look at each other as they step to the plate and say, this battle never needs to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
But
we'll call it a tie for now.
Yeah. I mean, I know Jason beat Leonardo. They just did that in the death match. I saw that. That was kind of cool because I grew up watching Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So, man, that's tough. I couldn't pick one. But I'd love to know what you guys think.
So we went into one of my previous videos, and my thing was Zeo Gold is probably one of the most powerful Rangers to ever exist. So for me, I think Zeo Gold would win because I just think that power is immensely incredible.
He had the power of 3 Rangers at one time. I mean, I could see why you would say that.
So I appreciate you. Thank you for your time, sir. Again, Austin St. John will be here at Traders Village at Andy's Treasure Chest tomorrow, Sunday, 12 to 2. I'm trying to have this video out tonight, so you'll be able to see it tonight and be able to come tomorrow. And again, thank you. On a personal level, we talked about this in private, but you've helped shape a lot of Ranger fans, and for me, you in my private life, which I don't talk a lot about on camera, but you have definitely influenced me as well. So I appreciate you.
Man, it's my pleasure. You, all I can say to you guys is wherever you find your influence, or wherever you find your inspiration, never forget that inspiration doesn't do the work for you. It may point you in the right direction, but it's up to you to do the work. And you cannot make any great effort anywhere in life without error and without mistake. There's no great effort that's ever been made without error or mistake. So don't beat yourself up. Learn from it and move on.
Wow. Okay. We'll just end there. Thank you again. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. And we'll see you all next time.
God bless.